Okay, one second. Okay, I'm back. Plus, there was a revving engine that just wasn't having it. I wasn't having it because it was so loud. I figured this is a good time to fix my lighting. Alright. I am working on this painting right now. It kind of spontaneously happened last night. I do have a reference image. Guys, I am speaking to myself when I say this. Looking at images and pictures, I personally believe is a really great way to feed your creative spirit. I am a person of, the millennial generation, so of course I go on the internet and I look and see what's out there on the internet because it's easy, but I also take pictures myself. I love photography because it's a great source of information to really go into and dive into and use it as a reference. Hi Celia, good to see you. Islama. Yes, so I came across this really compelling image on Twitch, or not Twitch, sorry, I'm thinking about Twitch because I'm streaming on Twitch, on Pinterest, and it's something that right now I feel like I've got a really great start and I can really push it further by using mixed medium in it. I love using texture, and I know that's kind of an overused word. Oh, thanks, James Edie. I appreciate you. I don't know what that means, but thanks, and I appreciate the tip. So basically, all I was gonna say is it really helps to kind of add texture, whatever that means to you. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep painting it until I think it looks really great, and then I think I might add some black pieces of paper in the back to bring something out, and then maybe I could kind of even collage some paper onto the canvas. That's where I'm at right now, so we'll see what happens. I could change my mind, but these are the types of directions that my mind goes. I can even get white paper, and of course I find recycled materials, recycled paper. You can just, once you start looking for it, you find it. So I don't want to collage over everything, and again, I could abandon that idea 100%, but I even like collaging with toilet paper. I've done that, and even paper towels, because once you mix it with glue and kind of put it on there, it gives it this really weird sculptural effect. So that's always a possibility, but right now I'm gonna, work on just developing the painting as far as I possibly can and kind of tightening it up a little bit, and then I'll just see what happens with it. Okay, so alright, and the other thing is the canvas has a little bit of wear and tear because it's an older canvas. This is actually a canvas that I had in Germany. I used it as one of my wine and painting lessons. I could tell because I just remembered it and it happened to come back with me. It's a canvas canvas from like 6 years ago, and I love using old canvases. That means something to me. I rarely throw out a canvas, even if I don't like the painting. I hold on to the canvas and I paint over it because it gives it history and meaning, and paintings over paintings, which is even more amazing and fun than just a painting. Alright, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pull up my picture. So I took this picture of the painting because I think it looked cool in the pinkish light. It's kind of moody. The painting looks superb. Thank you. Wow, 30 Marina. LOL, how funny. I was just watching an old stream of yours. Really? Well, I'm glad I popped on. I'm updating my stream, like to my stream schedule today or tomorrow. I'm updating it soon. Excuse me. I literally just am getting into the groove of streaming consistently, and like, I know I've streamed a lot, but I haven't been great with staying on schedule up until now, because I literally am. But I haven't updated the schedule for you guys, so I need to do that so you know what I'm talking about. Because, I don't think my schedule even says I stream on Sundays, and, today's a Sunday, so. Alright. Oh yeah, check out my Etsy. I just dropped a few more paintings on there, so check it out. So this is the image that I am copying. Don't like that word because I'm not really copying it. I'm using it as a reference. I mean, yeah, I'm taking the best parts of it and repurposing it into this. So I'm giving it credit right now, but I'm turning it into my own thing. So, yeah. On a very basic level, that's this is a photo and this is a painting, so there's like, at least the mediums are different and the processes in general. This is an example of like, an image kind of making its way into physical space, slowly but surely. Alright, I'm gonna start out with, hang on, I need to rearrange this a little. Alright. Sorry. So, yes, piracy. Yeah, kind of. Actually, anything that is put out onto social media becomes public domain. So you can use whatever you want. It's free. So, yeah, it's exciting because people post a lot of shit. But, yes, if it ever became so important that somebody wanted like a cut of the money, I would give it to them. And there's very few cases that can't be settled when it comes to like artists appropriating work that can't be settled in court. Like 9 times out of 10, they get settled pretty easily because the artist is willing to give that person a cut, but that means the painting is so successful that the original artist wants a cut, which is like, I don't think it's gonna get to that point yet. If it does, good, and I'll deal with it then. You know what I mean? That's definitely how I see it. So, yes, I'm doing a lot of I don't know, I'm just kind of figuring out what needs to happen and doing it right now. Oh, whoops. I kind of forgot I had white on my brush. I need black. But that's okay. Oops. Alright. Alright. What am I? Okay, I think I'm gonna move that there. I'm gonna use my black. Oops, sorry. Oh my gosh. I hope that doesn't hurt your guys' ears. I need to like pad everything so that if I bump into it. So I have to create kind of like a philtrum spot right here. And these are kind of the moments that are kind of hard to kind of see the first time painting it, like the first go, because this is technically the first go of this, like in the context that I literally just started this painting in one setting, and this is my second attempt to kind of turn it into something. There's a lot of like fun. Oh, twin turbo Tyler 6, thanks for following me. I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, there's a lot of space that's kind of in the human form that's really hard to really comprehend looking at it once, at least for someone like me. Like, I'm not by any means a master at painting. Of course, there's some people who are really good and they just see things and they're able to kind of capture the most necessary parts of that image and make it art, you know. Definitely not there yet. I still am figuring out what my voice is. That's why there's not always like a common theme between all my artworks, because I still am learning what I truly love to paint, not just what I think people want me to paint, because you kind of have to do both, especially as an entrepreneur artist, because, you know, if you want to sell your work, you have to kind of make work for the people, but on the other hand, you have to make work for yourself too, so that's like a fine balance, and it's not always easy to like truly find that balance. So you know, I mean, I really respect and admire people who kind of, you know, they're able to find something in their creative passions that they're able to market and get money from, and then therefore they're able to make their work. But then there's other people who make work that is like literally for themselves, and they somehow seem to make it happen too in another way. So it's like, as an artist, you kind of have to find success for yourself and not think of it in terms of monetary value, because if you do, you'll stop making artwork. Bottom line, which is why most people do stop making art, because very few of us actually find real monetary value, like substantial money from it. We don't, it's not easy to do that. Is it realistic type of art? This is definitely representational. It's not realistic per se, but but it's representational, and it's, yeah, because I'm not necessarily trying to make it real, but I wanted to represent a figure that's very recognizable. So, good evening. What the hell? I don't want to make you nervous, but the painting is upside down. Oh shit, it is. Thanks for making me aware. Yeah, it definitely helps to see your painting is in as many different ways as possible. Sorry, there was I don't know what that was. It's just a loud motor. It gets really obnoxious and annoying. I call that, little man syndrome, if you know what I mean. Scumster, good evening, Laurel. The painting isn't upside down, you are. Oh yeah, it's true. Well, did you know that the human eyes actually see everything upside down, and then our brain has to flip it right side up? So yeah, now what am I doing? I guess I'm flipping it right side up in my brain. So that's how crazy it is. I don't even know. It's confusing when you really start to think about it. It's crazy because, there are different, I think, levels of art, in the sense that, like, if I really want to surprise and impress myself with my own art making, I have to really, like, one, I have to work on it for a long time. Two, I have to do something unexpected in it, something that I wouldn't even expect. So that, because if I can't expect it, most people probably wouldn't expect it. And that's like the weird thing about it. So I love like unexpected things in artwork. That's why I have a hard time just picturing myself leaving this just a traditional like painting. I kind of want to put some, elements of like, what do you call it? Collage in it or something to make it a little bit more three-dimensional than just a traditional painting. But we'll see. Sometimes there's something really simple about just traditional painting. That's a great technique with some real isn't behind it. LOL. Oh, thanks for following, Fudgler. Oops, a little too bright. A little too white and bright. You can always kind of paint over it. And what I'm doing is indicating that there is another side of her over on this, in this black area. It's really important to not just let things disappear entirely into the black. You want to actually paint into it so that you can see into it. That's why, like, part of me wants to add some oil paint over this, or I could just mix some acrylic, dark blues and purples, because I like it whenever in a black and white painting you look closer and there's a little color that is hiding in those dark shades of black, because nothing is truly black. It's funny, maybe there is some things that are truly black, but honestly, it's all just perception. I mean, in reality, everything is just it's a mixed up color. Black is a concept of something that doesn't reflect light. So alright, so I was listening to that podcast, Snackables, I think is what it's called. Right before this, I was talking about the artist who made the Blackest Black that nobody knows how to make. And, you know, I really think that that's just silly because, sure, maybe there is something like that out there, but, like, what's the point of wasting energy on something that won't really do much for mankind, especially in today's society and in our climate right now? But honestly, if I think of that too much, everything can be argued as a waste of energy. Everything can be argued as like pointless and selfish. But still, like, come on. I mean, unless the Blackest Black can cure world hunger or freaking, like, you know, cure coronavirus, then I don't want to hear about it, honestly. But I'm kind of being a hypocrite because, you know, everybody does things to just waste time and monetize it. Like, in a way, that's what I'm doing. But I love ASMR because I truly believe it helps people, and because it helps me. And right now, people need to relax more so than ever. And, you know, mental health is a huge cause of death in our world and in our country. So I think it's important to really focus on that and focus on finding ways to, like, naturally kind of put us in a relaxed place. And that's why I love ASMR. Like, I believe in it more so on like a bigger scale, not just on an egotistical level of like, oh, I like making videos. Yeah, I like making videos, but like, I like making ASMR videos specifically because we need that in our world. And like, so many people don't get it, but I do, and I love it, you know? And I know a lot of people do, too. So, yeah. So, guys, if anybody feels so inclined, I would love to know who introduced you to ASMR. Was it a person? Did you, like, come across it on the internet? If so, who was your first ASMR person? I truly want to know because I find that so fascinating and special. And, you know, it's such a underrated thing in our world at this point that I love hearing people's stories and realizing, yes, people love it even now, you know? I'm kind of bringing down the color, but so that I can bring it out again and make it a smoother transition. You have depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Through the pandemic, I decided to start a sub to ASMR artists I felt where I realized Pelagi was the first ASMR artist I found, and she's why I came into Twitch. I've told her this as well. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's definitely an OG. She's really good, so that's awesome. A lot of people who watch, like, a lot of my fans, I guess, watch Pelagi because they brought her up like years ago to me, and I like looked into her, and you know, I definitely think she's really great at what she does. So okay, I like that. I think that looks pretty good. A friend showed me it, but it was a wood carving video from what I remember, not a person since then. cat sounds are my fave. I think the first actual person I watched was ASMR Darling. Oh yeah, she's awesome. That's great. She's definitely one of the trailblazers in ASMR, for sure. Okay, let's look at... It's important to paint the direction something's going, and I flip it upside down to help me see it from another perspective. So I need to do it again. And what got me into ASMR is I was in Germany. My friend showed it to me. I was living with her and going through a divorce, honestly. And I saw Gentle Whispering for the first time. And at first I thought it was really weird, but then I loved it, and I watched this Sleepy Time video. I still watch Sleepy Time video. That's so funny. But it's true, like, it helped me so much, and I just got into it after that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really grateful for it in my life, because of course I wouldn't be here. Yes, Bob Ross is the original ASMR artist, I would agree. I wish that they would have mentioned that in the documentary, but they didn't. They said that it was like sexual, which is annoying, because I don't think he was trying to make it that way. I think he was just trying to make it like relaxing and personable and stuff. Maybe like pull at the heartstrings, but nothing like bad. Nihilistic. Oh, thanks, Greg Love, for cheering me 100 bits. Sleepy time, yeah. Thanks, Farouk. 0580. And yeah, love you guys. I am so small. Thank you. David Attenborough was older than Bob Ross, and Carl Sagan also. That's so funny. And can I feed you? Yes, please. I love food. So that's the weird thing, is I'm always eating. You guys are funny. Hey, you better subscribe or follow me. Sorry, you don't have to subscribe, but if you follow me, you can like get your little avatar in my chat section. So yeah. I don't really know. I only like vegan milk. I don't like actual milk, so sorry. So one of my art teachers said that if you paint some of the best artists and the best paintings basically are painted over a ton of times, but not in the sense of like, oh, they changed their mind, but in the sense that they're just perfecting it. So we think in our mind that painting is like this A to Z process, but it's not. It's a lot about correcting it as you see it, and that makes the painting, strangely. It creates the layers. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, it's about seeing deeply and seeing past what your initial impression might be of something. That's kind of how you become a better painter, because if you saw it the way it was the first time you saw it, then you'd be able to draw it exactly the way you see it. It's not as much of a physical thing as it is a seeing and comprehension thing. It's not like in your hand as much as it is in your eyes, if that makes sense. Because people learn to draw with their mouths and with like their toes and things like that, and they can make very like incredible things because they train their body that way. Like if they have an ailment or something, there are like famous artists who did that. I mean, like Chuck Close, after his accident, he did that, you know. He started painting with his mouth, and he did like some incredible paintings in that era. Thanks, Pringles, for following me. My advice: make it look good. Make this look good. Yeah, but then I don't have as much range, and it pulls up. So I've tried that, but it doesn't work for me. So sorry. Also, thanks, Paul X. A great painting reminds me of the forest. Oh, that's cool. Oil painting is not easy. Good on you for learning it. Thank you. This is actually acrylic, but I do oil painting a lot. You can check out my Etsy and you can see a lot of my oil paintings on there. That's not to say that I won't bring oil painting into my stream at some point. It's just I haven't yet. And when I do use oil, I use water-based oil because oil paint's very bad for the environment. But you'd be surprised, it behaves the same way and it's counted as the same as what is like considered oil paint, because it is. It's just like you don't have to use like turpentine to use it. The more you look, the more you see. So keep that in mind. X, thanks for following me. Guys, drop in the comments what you thought of the UFC fight last night. Also, let me think of something else I'd like to know. Who is your personal favorite artist and why? I hope those are some good questions. Okay, I feel like Spork Power, thanks for following me. Okay. Alright, I'm looking at this. I like it. I'm still working on some details, so I'm gonna keep going because there's still a few things that aren't quite there for me yet, but it's definitely getting close to being finished. something that is gonna improve the painting. It's like in the jaw and the chin area. I knew that this space wasn't quite there. So I'm glad I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of my reconstructive surgery. Did any of you guys watch the explained episode about plastic surgery? It's kind of interesting. Brought in an interesting conversation. Kind of made you think. It's weird. Not plastic surgery, but just all of the different ways that all of the different ways you can see one thing. You can see, there's so many different perspectives. So, Lockdown 320, thanks for following me. So, yes, I try to keep my mind open because a lot of times, we don't really have the full picture of how things happen, especially when people are talking bad about other people. I always try to just realize, this is this one person's perspective. I'm gonna try not to let that influence the way I think about that person, I mean, if it's a collective agreement, it can be hard to ignore the popular opinion, but still sometimes popular opinion can be wrong, about certain things. You shouldn't always listen to the popular opinion. You should listen to you, what you think. So it's important when you're painting to try to paint in between the features or in between the things that you think you should paint, whatever that thing is, because that's where the painting actually becomes really good, is when you paint everything around and in between the thing you think you need to paint, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Just be you. I agree. Just be you. That's a good one. That's from Lockdown. Right now I'm trying to paint the direction of what that physical form is. That's how you make it look kind of 3D, guys, and it's so cool. But it's not really easy. You have to look at the form a lot and do a lot of figure drawing classes. And I'm not saying that I've I'm there, I've achieved that. No, I mean, I'm better than I used to be, which is good, because it's only compare yourself to yourself, But also, it's the more you look at the figure, and people, the more you kind of can see what's going on with it. I don't know. And translate it into a medium. I think that's the hard part, because it's one thing to see, and it's another thing to kind of totally translate it into something else. You love the painting. Thank you. Very beautiful. Thank you, Miriam, for Luxor. Alright. In a second, I'm going to take a break from this painting and start work on something else. I think it's really important to do that important to walk away and kind of come back. Oh, whoops. Oh, wow, my throat just made a weird noise. Okay. Let me just see what this looks like this way. I feel like it needs some work before I totally take a break, because, you know, it looks good, but it's not there yet. It's definitely getting better, for sure. I'm just adjusting things, kind of moving things around as I see it. And be careful when you're painting, because it's easy to kind of flatten what you're doing. It's okay to flatten it for a minute, but bring it back out with those original tones and stuff. And a lot of times you have to kind of deconstruct to reconstruct and reconstruct it better. It looks good, thank you. Thanks for following me. Tala, TBR. Could I send you a request for painting? Sure, Confuse. I definitely take requests. It's weird because if you practice one style, it informs another style, and it's really good if you kind of go between the two, because like realism or representational painting will inform your quote-unquote abstract, and your abstract is going to inform your representational, or how you view representational painting. So don't neglect either, you know, work on both. I want to make this softer. That looks better already. Just kind of adding a lighter, it's like a lot lighter around that little like hook at the end of the lip. It's a lot lighter. I love painting flesh. It's so fun and weird. Like, I don't know. I love strong lighting. Like, as you can tell, this is like wicked strong lighting. That's always my favorite. Like, especially when it comes to like these moody portraits, or like a moody type of painting. Strong lighting just does it for me. I'm like, hell yeah. I like that. I think even making it a little lighter around that little spot is gonna help. Not even quite there yet. Not that bright, but better. I'm kind of mixing my shade on the canvas. Okay, whoops. See what I mean? Like, you have to kind of deconstruct or reconstruct, but do it anytime you feel like it's not quite right. It's better to kind of mess it up and bring it back stronger, because that's what a painting is. That's how it gets to be like masterful. It's like doing it again and kind of fixing it and adjusting it just slightly. Like, it is a performative thing, obviously, in this scenario, but like, I think, you know, it's safe to say that traditionally painting is not a performative thing. It's a lot more of a private thing, and so it's like really kind of uncomfortable sometimes sometimes to show the process, because I'm like, do people see the difference? But it's like, it doesn't matter if you guys see the difference, because I see the difference, and I know it's gonna look different whenever I am done with it than how it did, like, before I finished the painting, if that makes sense. And if you saw it up close, you would see that it's like not perfectly smooth. Okay, it's feeling like it's getting a little squished. I need to like pull that out a little. That lines up with the middle of her eye. That's good. And it's really dark. I feel like I need to flip it and really see what's going on right here. That's gonna be my best bet. Okay, so the lip is... Oh, sorry guys. My bad. The lip is not quite where it needs to be right here. It's actually kind of goes out a little more. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there's always gonna be that thought in the back of your mind when you're like kind of restructuring your painting, like, oh shit, did I overkill it? Like, did I mess it up? But trust me, like, you didn't, because if you keep working on it, it's gonna look better than it did if you hadn't kind of reconstructed it, because the people who matter when it comes to like artwork are the ones who see that you took that time to make it even better than what it, like, just settling for like just a quick cheap image that kind of fools people but isn't very accurate, if that makes sense. It's better to kind of go that extra mile, make it look a little bit more accurate. In other words, fuck it up and then bring it back. That looks good. That looks really... I think that's what I needed. And for whatever reason, flipping it does the trick. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I mean, I do see something I can kind of... It's just not quite right in there. It's even a little darker. It's weird how just the smallest thing can change the entire look, because faces are... A lot of people kind of avoid faces because they are so particular, and it's uncanny if it's not exactly like, where if things don't really sit right, it's kind of uncanny, you know? So it's important to, you know, take your time and realize it's not easy. Mr. Humblin, hello, thank you for $50, thank you. Great to see you. Wow. It's been good. I am happy to see you. It's been a while. How's life treating you? I'm glad to be back on Sundays. I kind of took a break on Sundays there for a while, but I am back at it. So thanks for the $50. That's awesome. That's exciting. Alright guys, this needs to be like, just needs work. work on something else because I need a break on this one. And it's really easy to kind of get a little bit obsessive instead of just letting it be, because the letting it be kind of aspect is sometimes where the goodness of the painting comes in. It's so exciting though. Thanks again, Mr. Emblem, for the amazing donation. It's so nice of you. What the heck? Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of this. See if it's making sense. It totally is. Hell yeah. It's not perfect, but it's pretty great. I'll be right back, guys. I need to go to the bathroom. Okay? I'll be right back. Hi guys. Okay. Thanks again to Mr. Emblem for donating $50. That's awesome. Oh, can you guys see me? Hello, 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 hello. Shoot. It's still frozen. Hang on, let me see what I can do, guys. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Is it working now? We had to reset the camera. Let me know if it's working in the comments before I keep going. My BRB screen is enjoyable. Yay. Guys, you should go follow me on Patreon. Yay. I am now doing early makeup video uploads. Thanks. Good. Celia and Android. Doing early video uploads, shout outs, which I'm gonna shout out my new patrons. Kev, Marcos Cantu, Muriel Salome, and yeah, I can't see all of them. Wait, and Burry, Egon, and Steven. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm doing like early uploads and one mouth sounds video a month, okay? So, and video shoutouts. I'm doing that just for you guys. And yeah. Just join me on there because I'm actually trying to make it like a good place, and I'm doing like, you know, just I'm gonna be consistent and stuff, so you're welcome. No, but really. Alright, I'm looking at my reference again. I'm not really happy with the forehead. And again, I don't really want to work on this the entire time. Kind of want to break away, start something else. I don't like getting to the end of a painting and not working on something else. It's kind of like starting a second book before you end the first book, or starting a second TV show, so that you can, like, when you're done, you're not like disappointed. You're like, okay, well that's okay, I still have this one to work on. It's an important part of my process. You're super impressed with it. Thank you. Guys, check out my Etsy. I'm super excited. I've got some new paintings up. I've lowered the prices of some of my paintings so that you guys can, you know, afford them. I know a lot of my viewers are, you know, people like me who can spend a little here and there but not too much. So, yeah. I try to keep that in mind. Sorry for coughing into the microphone. That was my bad. Yeah, but I really, truly want to get my art into the hands of people who appreciate and value my work I would love to own one of your pieces one day. Thank you. You have a habit of starting something new rather than sooner. Can't work on pieces that long or I'll get irritated. Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's why there's not very many people who paint because of that, because it takes so long to actually make works of art, you know, like, that's my whole point, because it's like most people don't have the attention span or the willpower to stick to it, even if it's not really looking how you want it to. You have to like have a certain amount of willpower to believe that it could look better, that you can recover it, you can make it look good at some point. If that makes sense. I'm realizing that there's some weird, confusing space kind of happening in here. But that's okay. I'm gonna make it work. It's almost, yeah, it's more like that. It's more closed. Let's see here. I might have to turn it upside down again, just so I can really see what's going on. I know I'm missing a highlight, but I don't want to put it in really yet. I mean, I'll put it in there as a placeholder, but I'm not exactly sure if that's where I need it to go. That's why I kind of hesitate putting it in. I'm going to turn my reference upside down. And so that's painting. Thanks for following me, guys. Well, I'm glad that it speaks to Android. I'm gonna try to hang on, let me get adjusted. There, wait. That's a little bit better, I think. I think it's interesting because every single move you make in the painting kind of narrows down the options of potential directions it could go, and it can be hard to kind of accept that the more you work on it, the more you're kind of narrowing it down to have one singular destination. Because like, if you think of it, if you paint one stroke, your first stroke on the painting has limitless potential to be anything. But as the painting progresses, the potential of all the things it could be digresses. So you have to you kind of mourn, if you will, all of the potential options of what it could be for the one thing that it is currently, if that makes sense. Because because, like writing, paintings are exactly what is there in front of you. It's not, I mean, it's like the writer isn't going to be known for what it thought or tried to say. It's going to be known for exactly what they said. And same with the painter, as opposed to like a performance artist that like does something in the moment and then somebody can like remember it differently, and it kind of passes with time. It would still be ASMR if you would talk instead of whisper. I love that idea. I'll do a soft-spoken ASMR next week. I like that. And I agree. I've gone through phases where I do soft-spoken and I go back to whispering, but I'll go back to soft-spoken again and let you guys kind of enjoy some variety, and we'll see which one sticks. Whoops. The eyebrow isn't totally where it needs to be, but that's okay. I can adjust it for sure. I mean, there are parts of the painting that are a lot more kind of articulated than other parts, especially if you see it up close, which is fine. I think that that's actually good for the piece, but like in here it just looks way too dark. I mean, it's dark, but it's not supposed to be that dark. Actually, like the light in here is a lot more. There's not really contrast between the skin on the nose and the skin on the kind of like below the eye. This fleshy area right here. I don't even know what that is. Pretty much the same color. But I don't know if I shaped that eye totally correctly, so I'm gonna kind of go back into it and restructure it just a little. Thanks for following me, Golden Booty. Guys, comment stuff so I can see my little booger buddies run around and say things. Especially if you're on Twitch, because it doesn't work on YouTube. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Okay, so let's see. Got kind of that lighter gray that's coming in through here, and then kind of soften it in there. I think it'll help the overall painting get some a lighter shade. It's not about blending, it's about finding shades that are very similar in tone and putting them next to each other so that it makes it look like there's a smooth gradient. but it's not about blending. Blending isn't how you get a nice, rich looking painting. Hey Vapor X, good to see you. Grayson 2012, hi, how you doing? I'm good, 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 good. You love the shade development, thank you. Alright. As you're painting, just be aware of those moments where you try to maybe preserve certain spots when really that might be the spot that you need to kind of move or kind of mess up or interrupt in a way. She has kind of a weird nostril. That's okay. Let's see what's kind of longer, I guess. Gonna have to work on the shading in there for sure, for sure. But I'm not too worried about it. Gotta get some weight from this plate. Guys, don't forget to subscribe if you feel inclined. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can do it for free. So yeah, don't forget. This is a little more curvy in there. I'm just gonna turn this around and see what's happening. Oh yeah, that looks freaking cool. I'm pretty sure I like it so far. Hang on. Still thinking here could be lighter. Thanks for following me, Bobby Scum. Mia. That looks good. It needed that little rim. Bringing some of the light back after I kind of restructured it with, trying to capture what it is I initially liked about the image. It can be hard to lose sight of what you initially liked in the first place. Thanks for following me, Ali and Salamar. noticed I haven't worked too much on the eyes, although she has eyelashes, which I'm excited about. I just don't want to get too carried away with those little details so early on into the piece. It's crazy how, it might look kind of weird for a while, and then bam, 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 it kind of starts coming together. Like I said, you kind of have to mess it up a little to bring it back, make it better. As long as you see what it is you need to do, you can fix it. That looks really cool though. I'm pretty happy with it. It looks really cool. I'm trying to. Now in there, it's not quite accurate, but I can bring it out. I can make it happen. Just takes a little finesse. Actually, in here there's a lot more space. I'm just kind of creating the space with like dark, kind of a medium toned gray. Then I'm gonna take the white and kind of put it in there. What's happening here? So yeah, that looks. See, that's not even right. It's not even like that. It's more like lighter in there. This would look really cool if it was kind of translated in color. Only like vibrance kind of coming out of the black like that. So, I mean, that's an option. I mean, it's something I could consider doing. Something I mentioned in yesterday's stream is that I kind of want to make the same image in different ways. Thanks, it's complicated for the follow. Kind of blending a little, just doing a little shortcut. I mean, in there it's not really bright white, but there is more space in here. It's like a light. It just feels kind of squished in there for some reason. There's like, oh shoot, that's just wasn't really accounted for, so that's what I'm doing now. Painting in all of those spaces, or trying to at least. It's not white, but it's lighter than the gray that's currently there, so it's like a weird in between. Trying to kind of figure out where her nose really sits, because it's actually a bit broader than what I was painting it as, so the space around it kind of indicates that, so it's important that I try to make it somewhat accurate, otherwise it's just not going to look great. Serious Fox, hi. Good to see you guys. Oh gosh. I didn't mean to add that white. Just get some thick black paint. I'm gonna take a picture of this and see where we're at. Well, in 1 second, because very soon I want to walk away from this and come back to it later so I can see it with a fresh perspective. But this is definitely needs to be softer for sure. There. Alright, let me just take a little picky pick, see what happens. Okay, this is distracting me. It's so saturated. I might have to wait till it dries to really see what's happening. I do think that I can work on the lips just a little. There's something I can do that's pretty easy. Right in there, it needs to be a little darker. Thank you, I'm coming out with more music, so, I appreciate that comment on YouTube. I haven't done a music video in a while, so might have to be patient with me. So I think with this painting I'll either go I could either go super textured with it by adding like more layers, or I could go kind of smooth with it by adding chalk or something over it to kind of blend it. Hang on. It needs some more shading back at the end of the head, kind of in that area. Because I had it and then I kind of yourself away from it. What are you guys up to on this Sunday? I'm just curious what your day is like, what you're up to. I've been watching TV, Netflix type stuff, shows, and I made like a yummy lettuce tofu wrap for lunch. And yeah. Sorry, my eye itches. Okay, let me take a picture of the wall. I see right now there's some unresolved, something happening in here. Honestly, I love projectors and like working with like projectors. Oops, sorry. I like projecting my image so that I can kind of see it like kind of quicker. It's kind of cheating, but in the best way possible. It's in a clever way, you know, because it's kind of skipping some of the BS of like placement. And you can just get to straight to the creative stuff. So yeah. Cooking, gaming, cleaning, reading, love it. Thanks Juan Pablo. I've been watching Netflix. Very cool. Thanks 666 been 666 for following me. I'm not gonna judge you for your name. Okay, so let me take another picture. I mean, that's definitely better, but not there yet. I still think, like, all of this in here needs to be, like, not flat looking. Like, I can tell that it looks really flat. And I don't like that. I want it to be more expansive. I think what I'm missing is kind of strokes, side-to-side strokes like that to show that the head actually does kind of curve into the black space. Those aren't so bright either. I just got to this channel recommended and I'm not disappointed at all. Hell yeah, thank you. Kinder, I'm glad that Twitch is recommending me to people. That's exciting. Means that finally, no, I'm kidding. I am honestly pretty new on here. I started a little less than a year ago, but I was a full-time student when I first started, which I'm graduated now. So yeah, I get to really enjoy doing this more. That looks pretty legit. Hell yeah, thank you. I think I'm really, really into ASMR game as soon as I heard. Cool. You heard me. Oh, dang. Someone's playing a game on my channel. I'm excited. Okay. Let me just get this brush. I need a clean brush just to make a few clean marks. I'm doing a lot of, well, today in this like ASMR painting session, I've been doing a lot of kind of like restructuring the face a little bit, just to make it feel more sound and realistic. And honestly, I truly enjoy doing this kind of thing. It's really fun and satisfying. I need to add a little bit of a lighter shade. To kind of add on the lips. Not quite that light. I mean, hard to kind of decide. This is one of the hardest parts, is kind of matching up the exact shade of gray that you're looking for. And sometimes you can't really do it. You gotta kind of do it in a few different tries, to be honest. Thanks, Gabrielle Python, for following. I appreciate it. Let me know. Oh, yay. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you're up to in the comments. I'd love to get to know you. Kind of break through that internet wall. That would be great. Always makes me feel better to see my booger buddies chatting. Feeling at home makes me feel comfortable, loosens me up. So, if you feel like talking, go for it. I kind of created a space right there. That's beautiful, but I feel like the neck is a bit too long. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I will definitely look at that again. I appreciate it. I have the picture here so I can do some like measurement techniques. It's the perspective, also keep in mind, which I'm not saying you're not right, but the perspective is kind of throwing the head back, and so the neck may appear a little bit longer. This is awesome. I can't draw to save my life, but seeing talented people do it is always satisfying. Hell yeah, thank you so much. Latch2, thanks for following me. perspective, more people kind of tell you that what they see. That's kind of the cool thing about lives. It's like we're painting together, and if you want to paint with me, go for it. Adding some more black. I'm just using styrofoam plates. Yeah, so you can change your little avatar by hitting exclamation point, command. If you follow me and comment, your avatar will pop up on my screen. It's really fun. Keep that in mind. Oh, whoops. It's important to kind of feel your way through the painting, meaning like just you don't want it to look like you did automatic brush strokes that don't look felt. You want it to look like you kind of finessed your way through the painting and, you know, considered each spot of the painting equally important. It's pretty key. Oh, whoops. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I put the wrong shade or the wrong color onto my freaking brush. It's annoying, but it's so normal, so just keep that in mind when you're making artwork, that if you kind of keep making silly like mistakes, that's okay. It literally happens to me all the time. So yeah, Saviro3221, thanks for following me. I'm using a bigger brush for a smaller space so I can kind of make, honestly, quicker decisions that cover larger areas with the with top of her lip is dark, but it's not really that dark. Like, it's not, it's somewhere in between. There. Let me take a picture of this. It helps. Hang on, let me kind of. The lights make it really annoying. Okay, I think I got a somewhat good picture. It's definitely improving, which is exciting. That's the goal, is to improve it, you know? Doesn't need to be perfect. Thanks for following. Just needs some Baileys and cream. Oh, yeah. Thanks for following me. That's good cereal. I know it is. It's the best. Yeah, it's the ones with the chocolate in the center. I'm making her neck a little bit more bulky, because it is more bulky. Just a little bit more fleshy looking. And honestly, that's lighter. Oh gosh, that's so annoying. Hang on. Move it closer to my mouth so I don't do that again. My brushes have like really long handles, so it kind of bumps into my thing sometimes. That looks better. Much better. I need to mix kind of a light shade of gray for this kind of Cupid's bow thing. I don't know what that's philtrum. There's like light hitting the philtrum that kind of implies the outline of her lips, which is what's kind of confusing about painting this, because there's not really lines per se. There's just shades that kind of imply where the ends of like the features are in a way. Okay, no, that's like way too light. Impressive painting. How long have you been working on it? I started working on it yesterday, and today's my second day of working on it. Probably worked on it 3 hours yesterday, a few hours. I don't know, what time is it? I've been working on it a couple hours, I think, today. So time flies when I'm painting, which is why I can stream, because if I do other things, I get really bored. I'm like, wow, this is taking forever. I'm really bored. Like, not always, but a lot of times it's just hard for me to stay entertained whenever I'm streaming. But like, if I'm painting, I'm entertained because I'm just doing something that I love, and I can just kill so much time painting. It's insane. Thinner near the jaw and wider at the details. Just a thought. This is my reference picture, guys. So, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see it, but the head is thrown back into the darkness, and so the face has an unconventional perspective. So keep that in mind. Still kind of figuring it out though. It can be kind of challenging to get that perfect shade. Hi guys. Thanks the Fuzzy Cheeseburger, amazing name, for following me. That name made me happy. So let's just lighten it up in there, and then I'll add my dark spot. Or my light spot. My like little tiny highlight, kind of mix it into the gray. I mean, I guess I'll add both because there is a dark spot in there too. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out where to place everything. A really good painting, everything needs to fit. Have I tried making my own pigments? That's a question from YouTube. No, I have not, but I love that idea. I think that sounds like it would be so fun. Anybody who has ideas like that, feel free to share, because I think what kind of keeps me from doing stuff like that is honestly I don't want to call it laziness, because it's not lazy. It's just the fact that I like to make things quickly. And I mean, yes, I spend a lot of time on one thing sometimes, but in that moment, I just want to go for it. So sometimes I kind of don't do the things like stretching the canvases and making the pigments and stuff like that, because it does require carving out extra time when, you know, for streaming and stuff, it takes so much time to kind of set things up and stuff like that. So I hope that makes sense. I just don't always get around to doing some of the more like detailed, maybe masterful type of techniques or things like that. But I would love to someday make my own pigments. I think it's cool. A lot of people are painting with eggs these days. I've seen a lot of people use eggs as a basis for their pigments. So the nose still needs work. It's so frustrating. I need to make it darker or something in the filter area. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like this area where it's almost there, just not quite. Hey, Waza4, thanks for following me. Guys, if you want your avatar to have something to say, feel free. If you want to draw my attention to something in the painting, let me know what it is, because that's part of live painting, is you guys can kind of talk to me and tell me what you think, and I love that, so feel free to interject. It's a strong painting, you keep it up, thank you. That's on YouTube. Alright. Let me just see if Sigma S Vapo, thanks for following me. Hey sugar, it's almost 7 a.m. here and I still can't fall asleep. Oh my gosh, that's craziness. I'm so sorry. Have you ever worked with ceramics and glazes? Yes, I have. I thought it was really fun. Oops. Sorry, guys. This looks messed up over here. I don't like that. I liked working with ceramics and glazes and stuff like that. It was definitely, I don't think it's, my calling in life by any means. But I think I don't love the texture of the ceramics or the glazes, that chalky texture. It's just not my favorite. But yeah, I definitely have done it, and I made a few mugs. I made a few bowls on the pottery wheel. Which was fun. I still have a few of them, which is crazy. I don't know how they're still with us. Sandoria, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. It's hard when you see what you need to do, but it's like I'm having a hard time kind of getting everything to kind of fit together the way I want it to. It's close, for sure. That's definitely close to how I want it, so that's good. It's, getting somewhere. to see if I can get it more in the shadow. Guys, I'm not saying this is done by any means whatsoever, but I do think it's at a really good stopping point. Or it's at least very close to being at a good stopping point. Gosh, this is what I'm saying. I get so obsessive sometimes. I think I'm just gonna work on the lips a little bit longer. But then I'll work on, I kind of want to break away and do something else. You know, like something less tedious. Basically, you can kind of see her little teeth a little bit kind of come out of the darkness. I don't know if I think that looks good. Alright, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. And I'm gonna work on something else. Well, gosh. Maybe I should highlight her mouth just a little more. Or not. Let me look at this. I have to like squint. I don't know. It looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna leave it for now. I mean, there is this one spot that could be brighter. Let me just get a little more white on my palette. Thanks for following Dark Theon. I appreciate you. See, that little highlight needed to be there. There's one right there too. There's one right there. See, it's crazy what it does when you kind of add those few fucking spots that just, it's like bam. Pulls the whole thing together. That is so cool, right? It's like you work and you're like, oh, it's not getting anywhere, and then it kind of just comes together. Isn't that like business? Like, I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm working myself in circles, but I have faith, and based on what I hear of successful people is that it just, at some point, it just kind of starts to pay off. It's not an immediate gratification. What are you doing with your paintings when you're done? Do you sell them or do you have a huge collection? Both, my friend. I sell them on Etsy and would love for you to check it out. And I do have a lot of paintings lying around also at my parents' house in the basement, which is why I'm trying to sell them on Etsy so they get some exposure, to be honest, 'cause, yeah, gee, that painting is amazing, thank you. So yeah, I dropped my Etsy in the comments, check it out, let me know what you think of it. I will be posting this painting on Etsy unless somebody claims it and says they want it, which sometimes does happen from my live streams. So this is bright in here, but not quite as bright as those spots. William offered, thanks for the $10. That's so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's really awesome. I appreciate it. That's on YouTube, guys. And Zombie God, thanks for following me. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Zero, thanks for following me. I'm using a small brush. The reason I'm using a small brush is because it's towards the end of the painting. There's really no point in using a small brush at the beginning of the painting because a small brush indicates detail, and detail at the beginning of the painting is just stupid. Just don't do it because you're going to move it around and you're going to move it anyways. It's not going to stay where, things aren't going to stay where you think that they are. And thanks for the compliments, my friend Zeros. I know it's tempting to go up and down on the neck, but I'm actually going to go side to side when highlighting the neck because I'm accounting for that space that kind of curves around. And this is how you make it not look flat because I'm curving my brush. So it's wrapping, the light is literally on a three-dimensional figure, wrapping around the form how it would in real effing life. Who do I paint? I found this rando on the internet and I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. That's moving. I like paintings that can be interpreted many different ways so that they can reach people and in different ways. I don't like to paint things that are super, like, you know, maybe like specific, because for instance, this could be anybody in my opinion. Like, you could kind of just, it's somebody that's, you know, a faceless person. And that's why I like it, because it's, you can kind of see into it what you want, you know? So, you can kind of see that moment in time that you felt like this, or that, you know, you could see agony, you could see passion, you could see, you know, so many different emotions in it, hopefully, depending on who you are. Thank you, Snow, for following me. What times do you start streaming during the week? Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I am going to be showing you guys my new schedule right after this stream. I know I said that last time, but I can read my schedule that I have for you here in a minute. Wait, where was I? I was about to do something really, really important. This is so frustrating. There was something that I was like, oh, okay, it was in here. This needs to be darker. I'll show you my schedule. It's like, it kind of changes a lot, but it's not going to anymore. I'm keeping it this way so that you guys can, you know, follow my creative progress and whatnot. Oh gosh, that's too dark. I'm trying to kind of blend that in. That looks good. About to sneeze. Yeah, is that what you see? She's about to sneeze. I like it. to be some more light spots in here, strangely. Thank you, Pickly Boy 7601 for following. I need to work on this area. I need to kind of use a bigger brush, I think, because this is like a bigger space. Looks a little flat, in my opinion. Hey yo, good to see you, Foxtrot GPX. Thanks for following me. I need to go to a bigger brush. This is a good size. Oh, it's kind of needs to be wet. It's like dried or something that happens. I need to get my brushes cleaned. I need to buy some like brush cleaner and just clean my brushes. Now that looks a little flat, but that's okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit of shading. That's better. That's like, I see something kind of wrong in the neck area. This should be like darker, or I don't know, it's not right. It's okay though, I can fix it. If you can see it, you can fix it. You can only fix what you recognize in your consciousness. Just trying to make it look a little more round. Already that looks better in my opinion. It's just like a smoother transition. It could be darker. Much darker, but not totally like pitch black or anything, just much darker. That looks really good. Thank you. This is a highlighted message. Uyghur King, thanks for following me. Akin Durka, thanks for following. Should I say something? Sorry if I'm not doing it right. Oh, thanks, Earth's spaceships, for following. I appreciate you. I think I need to let this kind of grayish color dry. Then I can go in and kind of highlight it more after it dries, because it's getting kind of, the white kind of is getting a little murky with the gray, honestly. I could maybe add a little bit in there and in there, but even that doesn't totally look, needs to be like, that looks better. I mean, it definitely looks softer, which is good. That does look much softer. That does look very much softer. I think I'm onto something. Oh well, yeah, I think it looks pretty dang good. I think I'm gonna take a break on this. It's at a good spot. I'm gonna take a break. It looks pretty freaking sweet. I'm gonna work on another painting now. And, yeah, it'll be fun. Check that shit out. Tons of being too, Laurel. I love it. You're so relaxing and always a pleasure to watch your paintings develop and evolve. Thank you so much. And thank you, Trim Quali 21 or Quail, for following me. Alright. This painting has been painted over so many times. It's not even funny. I'm not necessarily done with the other one. I'm just gonna let it sit for a while. And I mean, I already see some things that I can do to improve it, but I'm letting it sit so that I don't overdo it and I can work on it more later. So, yeah. I love it too, definitely would bought, but I'm kind of afraid of the cost with shipping included. Keep it up though. For sure, I totally get it. I'll probably put it up around 100. A lot of my new stuff is around 100. The paintings that are super expensive are the ones that are like literally my best works, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I think this could be like $100. Okay. I'm gonna work on this image here. It's like a mushroom land, kind of trippy. I'm just gonna outline it right now, and there's like a gnome, but I'm gonna make it like an imaginary character. I'm gonna blot it out so that, because I'm nearing the end of that painting, I want to start another one so that I'm not sad when it's done, and I don't feel like, I feel like if I start one now before I'm finished with that one, I'll just ease into the next piece rather than having this like start to stop moment. I'm in France. I'd say stay tuned if you put it on Etsy. Yes, I will put it on Etsy so you can check it out. I kind of, part of me wants to paint this out of black because I feel like the colors would be like way more vibrant, but I'm also worried that because I'm using acrylic paint that the colors, like the blackness, will show through the colors. So I'm just trying to decide if I want it to be like a black canvas or a white canvas. I think I'm gonna go with white, and then I'm gonna outline it with black, and then I can just I'll make my wash with the black and a few colors and just kind of see what happens. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to place everything and section the canvas off like in here. I'm getting these big, huge shapes. Here's like the top of the mushroom. Nice. I'm not focusing too much on each piece of the painting, but focusing on the space it occupies as a whole so that I can kind of fit everything in. So that's like where the mushrooms are. There's like this cute snail here, so this is going to be kind of a trippy painting. We've got the mushrooms, we've got the snail, we've got a gnome. So it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of plays into pop culture, pop stoner culture. And yeah, I am a fellow stoner. Okay, see, so already I'm noticing there's not enough room for him down there, so I'm moving him up. A good place to, this is a good moment to kind of wipe it away. No big deal. I hear myself in another room. I must be playing in another room in my apartment. Quiet down. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Okay, so yes, the hands. Okay, see, already see he's like in here. He's squished. He's very squished, which he's coming off the end of the canvas in the image I'm copying as well. But his body fits in a lot better. You're probably like, what the heck is that? All good. Believe it or not, this is actually getting me somewhere. Mushroom here, person which again, I'll be kind of creating my own color scheme. Excuse me. As well as my own kind of character here, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of use him as this little place filler. Kind of use him as a marker, and then I'll add my little magic personal touches. He uses his little frowny face and nose, eyes. See, I'm just kind of sketching it out as I go. So there's a good little start. His hand would be like in here, kind of. Actually, the hand will be pretty cool, I think. It's one of the more interesting aspects of this gnome is because it kind of pushes the boundaries between a cartoon character and a something kind of lifelike. So that's something I really enjoy about it, and something I'm gonna kind of try to capture in my. So there's a little gesture. The beginnings of paintings often look kind of not that exciting, to be honest, so I'm just letting you know that's pretty normal. Because it takes a minute to bring in all of the different elements of the painting that make it kind of a recognizable image, and beyond that, it takes even more time to make it unique and meaningful, not just a, copy, if that makes sense. See, that's a little slaggy slag. So the mushroom kind of, that's the tip of it, kind of underneath. It kind of folds away from the viewer. We've got like a few little caps of like the baby mushrooms. See, it's kind of, they look like king oyster mushrooms. So, did you ever try shades of green treated like black and white? I've done black and white paintings with nothing but color. Definitely. It's important to keep the imagery kind of open, especially at the beginning of the painting, so you can move and adjust things, because if you work too hard on something and then you realize it's not in the right place or it doesn't quite look right, it's a lot harder to convince yourself to actually change it and fix it if you spent like hours on it. So don't spend too much time on any one part of the painting until the painting really develops, and then you can really kind of focus on, look, there's like cute. I'm happy with this already. Is it coming along? Ew, cool. 3 bits, thanks. Feel free to let me know what you're up to this weekend, what you're doing to stay busy these days. I love getting to know my friends on Twitch. And yeah. So here's like some leaves in the back. Oh wow, there's like even another part of the mushroom kind of extending in the distance. It's a lot less saturated than the other aspects of the mushroom. It's kind of creating an environment for the little gnome guy to live in. Oops. Sorry, that was actually a Twitch notification if it didn't sound familiar to you. Yeah, I watch Twitch sometimes. Call me crazy. Okay. Guys, I'll be right back, okay? Sorry I sneezed. I need to take a little break, but then I'll get to a stopping point on this, okay? Love you. Don't go anywhere. use whatever I have laying around. And yeah, sometimes that's cardboard, sometimes that's freaking, not cardboard, it's plastic or whatever. Adding some colors to my paint palette. I don't necessarily need every color out because I don't want to waste anything necessarily, but I do need more colors out. Right now I'm just using kind of craft paint, honestly. It's not super expensive, which is nice. I can paint a lot more when I'm using cheaper paint rather than, because I have some paint that is really expensive, but it's just annoying because you find yourself trying to just preserve it. Let me see if I can do something with the colors I added on my palette. Love you guys so much. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know how your day's going. How are you emotionally with everything going on? Okay. Let me just add some value into this painting. I don't know. I'm just gonna mix some colors. See what happens. It's kind of doing some washes. I'm gonna start out with darker colors and then kind of build up to lighter colors that aren't necessarily true to reality. I want them to be a little bit more, maybe a little bit more cool than the colors you would see in reality, but I am going to start out with kind of muddy tones, so if you notice that, realize it's intentional. I'm going to start out with muddy tones and then work my way up to some bright colors, so it's a bit different than what I usually do, to be honest, but I get tired of doing the same thing over and over, kind of making washes to be like placeholders in a way for what the ultimate color is gonna be. But it is fun to work from to make it dark and then pull out those bright colors. I don't know why that's so fun, but it really, really is. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make the background kind of a murky thing happening back here. It's funny because I'm actually using bright colors and mixing them together so that they aren't bright. Look at that. I have a video game I've made coming up in 2 months. Oh, very cool. In the meantime, I'm essentially getting back into painting and sports. Hell yeah, I love that. So, yes. Using some bright colors to make dark colors. up the painting logic with washes, kind of building it up into a space that feels maybe a little bit more real. Grabbing more paint as I need it. It's important not to judge your painting too early on, to just focus on covering all of the white, really, and then you can kind of go from there, to be honest, because you don't want to feel like you're fighting against the white. That's a super important rule. I love these murky colors. There's a lot of just forestry implied in this painting. Obviously, like, it's very nature-y, you know? So, obviously green is a good color to use. Moving quickly is super important because it forces you to focus on the entire thing, which is important because that's gonna help you get a better painting in the end rather than hyper focusing on the small details. You want to focus on the main event. So yeah. So yeah, just adding the curve of the mushroom. In here, this could be like a nice gray color. This is the snail character that kind of is on top of the mushroom. Thanks, walk partners, for following. So you can already see the snail kind of happening. Maybe add some shadows just to kind of give it some context. This needs to go way above that. Make it a little bit bigger up here. It's okay if it goes off the canvas. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for covering the white with a wash, and then once I get to a stopping point, you know, which is, to me, I think just covering everything with color so that whenever I go back into it, I have more to respond to rather than trying to construct the actual physical space that the person or the mushroom and the little guy, the gnome, is in, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of constructing this space, and then I can get more creative with it after I kind of make sure it's kind of all there. So this is like a rock, pretty much. Looks like there's some light on it, the top of the rock. This is acrylic right now, but you can use oils the same way. You can use oils the exact same way. You just mix it with your paint thinner or turpentine. A lot of people are like, oh, is that watercolor? And it's not. This is just a wash, and washes are super important to the construction of painting. Oil paintings don't start out typically. You don't just start out with like these massive thick layers of paint. You kind of build up to it, which of course there's always exceptions to rules, but that's just the majority of the time. If you're using a reference image, which I am, and I honestly recommend using a reference image, whether you take the picture or whatever, especially if you're beginning. But yeah, if you're using a reference, it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like the reference. Be okay with that. That's good. That means that it's worth painting. You don't want it to be exactly like something else that already exists. Be okay with that. It needs to work as a painting. And if, someone looks at it, they're not gonna know they're not gonna be like comparing it to the reference. More than likely, it's probably just gonna exist on like a wall somewhere, and someone's just gonna enjoy it. So just make sure it makes sense as a painting first. So hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so here's the gnome guy. I'm gonna kind of structure him in. It's kind of got like blue happening on his shirt. His shirt's kind of, it's like he's sitting back and asleep. I'm gonna use like orange kind of mixed with these other colors to make a skin tone, or something like mixing it with white to make it kind of light. See, and I'm just gonna block out where his face is gonna be without actually painting it in. I'm also gonna kind of block out where his little hands are. That way I know where they're gonna be without really making them perfect, because I will likely change it. Thanks for following me. But yeah, guys, let me know who you are, what you're up to in the comments. I love it when my booger buddies chat with me, because your little avatar appears and it makes me feel a lot less lonely. So yeah. I'm gonna put this kind of in the back as like a hazy mushroom kind of pushed back into the distance. Again, using bright colors on my palette, but kind of mixing them into black to make them muddy, and then you'll see it'll look really cool in the end, because it'll make the bright colors look even even brighter. So the block dot wash is a base. Yes, this is a base for the painting. I will be building it up and it will definitely look a lot less watery when it's done. Feel free to ask questions, guys. I love it. I don't mind at all. It's actually fun to interact with y'all and all that fun stuff. So here's his little hat, kind of flipping over his ear. I'm gonna get his it looks kind of mind-bending. Hell yeah, thank you. I'm gonna kind of make his pants. I really don't have all the colors I need right now, but that's okay. Let's see if I can make what I have work for now. Eek. Nice. Thanks for following me. Nice small too. Okay, so this is like, this leg is coming out way too far. It needs to come in more. So this is why there's really no point in making it super detailed till you know exactly where everything is gonna go. If you keep it ambiguous for a while, you'll have better chances of kind of making it look right in the end, strangely. And that's just, you know, my experience talking, honestly. And, you know, oh, you like the colors? Thank you, thank you. Plant life, you know how it be. The colors are kind of somewhere between like murky and bright, and I think it'll look really cool when I'm done. I've got a pretty clear vision for it. Trying to mix kind of a skin tone shade. Magic mushrooms, hell yeah. Which, guys, I'm gonna be honest, never gonna do those again. But I went through my happy phase where I tripped mushrooms a lot, and I'm really glad that I'm out of that phase because, yeah. I really like being in reality, but I'm not gonna lie. I learned a lot through those magical experiences. I wouldn't really trade them because I feel like again, like I said, I learned a lot. And what is life if it's not about learning lessons, you know? I mean, I know that there's more to it than just learning lessons, but learning lessons is a big part of life. So thanks, anchovy. Nice, I like that. Okay, hands up. How many to break your board right now? Nice. I don't think I'm gonna break anything I'm gonna flip this upside down because my eyes want to look like up here, not down here. So I had to flip it up so my eyes would look up here. I don't know if that makes sense. Flipping it is a good technique. If you haven't tried it, please do so. Excuse me, I burped. My bad. I'm a burper. To punch, like 500 to punch the board and break it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I would do that if somebody gave me 500. But hopefully people would rather give me 500 for the painting rather than to break the painting. But you know, that would be kind of cool, I guess. Hello. Sorry about that. My audio kind of, yeah. Where do you get inspo from? I want to paint and I'm out right now. I'm in a rut right now. Dude, inspiration is very hard. This was actually an image that I'm copying that's they're kind of using as inspiration. That one of my viewers gave me a request and was like, hey, will you paint this? And I was like, sure, I'll paint it on stream. And that's kind of how we got here today. But, you know, being inspired is kind of something that there's this balance between waiting for it and just doing something and faking it until you make it, because you kind of have to do that sometimes. Like, actually, most of the time, you gotta paint before you're inspired, and then you might get inspired. So, yeah. Using some black, which, again, you gotta be careful. Oh, one of my lights went out. That light loves to go out.
Bluetooth mode.
Sorry. Yellow, wow, thanks for following me. So, yeah, you gotta be careful when you use black. You gotta use it really, really intentionally, because there are definitely more tasteful ways to darken a color. But I'm trying to make everything a little muddy right now so that it has kind of a natural look. Sorry for that loud noise. So that it looks a little muddy, a little murky, and then I will bring out some of those vibrance in the painting later on. So yeah, just letting you know kind of what my thought process is here, so you can kind of follow along with my ideas. As you can see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done right in here, so I'm just gonna kind of try to make a little bit more sense of the gnome and stuff before I move on. So yeah, just his hands are folded. I'm using kind of a bigger brush than what I might normally use in a small tight area, this, but again, it's really important to refrain from really focusing on those details too early on in the painting. It's better to focus on the big picture, so using a big brush earlier on in the painting is really just a smart idea, I think. It helps me personally to kind of focus on the big picture and let go of the details. So thanks for following me, guys. I appreciate it. Mary Leonard, Nikki Larson, Bet, and Leshevx. Thanks for following me. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Black and blue back here. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you're up to. Would love to get your feedback on the painting if you feel so inclined. I'm totally down to hear it. If you have suggestions, totally down to hear it. Doesn't mean I'll implement your suggestion, but I will definitely consider it. A lot of times people have really great suggestions, so that's why I'm throwing that out there. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'm gonna mix white with yellow to kind of add a little bit of dimension to the arms of this little troll lad thing. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to use blue, but okay, since there's blue on my brush, might as well use it. Gotta get a little red. You particularly always add rain when I'm doing a painting that's set outside, so I think that always is a cool add. I do like that idea. Thank you for that. Maybe I could do that in this one. We'll see if there's enough like space to add rain, because it's like very much on the ground, but you never know. I could maybe add like a raindrop like coming off of the mushroom. Like, I think that's a really cool idea. Probably wouldn't have thought of that, so thank you. There is kind of a strong light source in the painting, which is cool. I'm gonna kind of try to capture some of it before I let the painting set over the weekend. Gonna create a shadow here, a really strong shadow. Gonna create that's gonna help with the moodiness, this strong lighting. This is kind of a rock, as you can see. That is there's like lots of just nature happening in this scene, which is fun. Definitely cool. There's like blue things happening. I think in here I just need to make it nice and dark, which will give me a good spot. Like it'll be a good place to put like bright plants up against the darkness. So just making it dark. Bright plants will be put over the darkness. Kind of shaping some of these mushrooms. Mixing red and blue, so kind of getting a deep purple can make a nice kind of shadow color. So keep that in mind. I like Mary's idea, Rain also. Yeah, it's a good one. Tammy to 69, thanks for following. I would like some mushroom underside glow, although the actual image may be too bright for it in the end. I don't think it would be too bright, but I think that's a cool idea. For sure, I mean, I know for sure that it's gonna have a glowy effect. Like, honestly, right now, that's why I'm adding so much darkness, because it's easier to add a glowy effect over the darkness. So yeah, I like the idea of doing it on like underneath the mushroom. I love that. I wouldn't even know how to make a glowing effect. Well, you kind of just make everything dark and then have a few places that are really bright. Sorry, that sounded like a fart, but it wasn't. I was moving up in my chair. So yeah, that's kind of what you do. But we can, kind of cross that bridge when we get there, and I'll show you. I mean, we'll kind of see how it unfolds, Because sometimes we have in our mind, like, oh, we wanted to do X, Y, and Z, but the painting kind of goes a different direction sometimes, and rather than fighting it, so it's better to just kind of submit and be like, okay, you want to do that painting? Okay. I hope that makes sense. It's so great. Oh, thank you. New Zealand-based DJ, Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Oh, Truth. That's what it's called. Very cool. Will do. So just what I'm gonna do now is kind of see what paint I have left on my plates, like my little painting plates, and I'm just gonna kind of try to use it up, to be honest. I'm kind of getting to a stopping point, and if this is a good way to kind of just not waste anything and do those kind of last minute adjustments, if you will. It's so great. Thank you, thank you. I think it looks cool so far, coming out nice. Thank you. Making that mushroom just a little. Can't really see it. But I'm making it a little bit darker because it's kind of in the back. And using the blue to kind of darken around it as well. Creates some interesting spatial things when you kind of paint around the object rather than like painting the actual object. Just paint around it. You'd be surprised how much it helps the look of your painting to do that. So yeah, just trying to give you guys a little painting advice based on what helps me personally. Let's flip it over, see what's happening. You can't really see what that is, but it's a snail. I think if I add like a little bit of shading in here, kind of outline it a little, and add a little shading in there. Hopefully that helps some, but I can kind of articulate it more later on for sure. But yeah, snail happening right here. Nice. Oh, you think I'm perfect? Thanks. Where did I learn to paint? I started painting, well, I learned so many different places, honestly, so yeah. I took a lot of different painting classes, which helped. And, you know, I just learned by doing it, to be honest. So okay, I think I'm at a pretty solid stopping point. It's really loose and washy. There's a lot I can do to it. It's, you know, kind of, at least I kind of see what direction it's going. It's really just very blocked out. It's not anything like how it will look when it's done, which is fine. Might be kind of overdoing the darkness in there a little. I think there's a little bit more light happening. Like, yeah, that's better. So yeah, it definitely needs a lot of time and patience and work, but I think that there's a lot there to work with, which is exciting. I can definitely see potential. Which is great because that way whenever I come back to it, I'll have a lot to do and I won't have to start another painting, because starting paintings is hard. Let me take a picture. Yeah, it's a good start. It is. It is. I can, you know, really work with that. So, okay, guys, I'm probably gonna head off. I will be back Wednesday. I don't stream on Monday and Tuesday. That's kind of my weekend. But I'll be back Wednesday at 4. Okay, so I will change my schedule ASAP for you guys. I will be, painting like always, so I'm super excited. Thank you so much, everybody, for popping in here. Thank you so much, Mr. Hoo-Ha, for donating $50. That was my biggest donation today, and it meant a lot to me. Next week, we will be finishing up this painting, which you can see is much further along than my other one. I'm really excited about it, and yeah, I love it. I think there's a lot of potential in it, and so I'm gonna finish it up, and then I'm gonna get started on this one more, because I started it today, but I'm gonna really kind of dive into it, try to make sense of it, and we can, pull out some cool things. I think I can even make it look even more shadowy, and then that way when I put the bright colors in, it'll look even more bright. So I'm excited. It'll be fun. Thank you guys for being here. Stick around because I'm gonna raid somebody. So I'll put on my BRB screen. But I am gonna head off, and then I'll raid someone, and yeah, tell them I said hi, and I will see you next week. This was a really fun painting stream. You guys are so sweet. You guys are super supportive, and I will see you later. We'll work on the painting more next week. Thank you, Errol C. Thank you.